Metta is the ability. Metta, and when I talk about metta, it's the same word for loving kindness. Metta or loving kindness is really the ability to embrace all parts of ourselves as well as all parts of the world. We can really open to everything with the healing force or the healing quality of love. When we feel love and compassion, our mind is expansive. It's open enough to really sort of include the entirety of life in our awareness, or in its awareness, both its pleasures and its pains. And we are no longer sort of overcome or overwhelmed by the pain. And, we don't need to really fear anything either. As I said in the last Friday, I mentioned the short talk about how when Buddha first offered the loving kindness practice, he gave it to his monks who were afraid to go into the forest because they were afraid that there were like fearful spirits there. So when we're coming from a place of love, fear has no place. There's a saying that both fear and love can't exist within us. And so the more we cultivate that quality of love and loving kindness, the less fear there is in our lives. And we're not always overcome or overwhelmed by the pains or the discomforts of life as well. Really, through love, we recognize that even with all our perceived imperfections, ultimately we're whole. We're perfect just as we are. It's sort of having to work through certain things, certain defilements that arise within our minds, wrong perceptions, limited beliefs, old patterns. But our deepest happiness is intrinsic to the pure nature of our mind. And in cultivating love, we really remember one of the most powerful truths that the Buddha taught, and that is that the mind is naturally radiant and pure. The mind itself is a pure mind. In many traditions of the Buddhist sect, they call it a pure light or a clear light mind. And ultimately, the pureness of the mind is a mind that's filled with compassion itself. So it's sort of a loving awareness. And it is really defilements, wrong views, ignorance, those sort of things that cause us to suffer. And the loving kindness practice helps us to remove those defilements by connecting us to our true nature and restoring the purity and the loving, compassionate nature of the mind itself. And so once again, I thank you all for being here. And so let's get started. I invite you now to get into any relaxed or comfortable position. You can be seated or you can lay down, it doesn't matter. But just find a position in which you can sit and be at ease for a period of time. And now let's just begin by taking a couple of deep, long breaths together. So I invite you to take a long, deep breath in and slowly exhale out. And bring in another long, deep breath in. Slowly exhale out. And I invite you to take one more long, deep breath in. And slowly exhale out. And now at this point, just allow your breath to settle to whatever its natural or regular rhythm is in this moment. There's no need to control your breath in any way anymore. But just allow the body to breathe however it is. You don't need to judge the breath, so if it's fast, it's fast. If it's slow, it's slow. Just allow it to be however it is in this moment and just try to observe it, witness it. And whenever the mind wanders, just gently and lovingly come back to the breath again. By coming back to the breath, we're cultivating present moment awareness. Because by coming back to the breath, we're coming back to reality. Because the only moment we truly breathe in is this present moment. We don't breathe in the past, and neither do we breathe in the future. Every breath we take is happening right here and now. And so let's center ourselves in this present moment by just trying to focus on the breath for another minute. And now I invite you to begin to expand your awareness out now to include every part of yourself. So bring all your awareness and attention to your whole being. And we begin the loving kindness practice by sending loving kindness to ourselves. We start there because if we don't truly have love for ourselves, we can't fully love another. We can't give away what we don't have. So we're going to direct this energy inwards first. And so while holding your awareness and attention on yourself, please just silently repeat or softly and quietly recite these phrases after me. I am loved. I am happy. I am healthy. I am peaceful. I am loved. I am happy. I am healthy. I am peaceful. I am loved. I am happy. I am healthy. I am peaceful. And now please take a few moments to sincerely and wholeheartedly offer yourself your own loving kindness by continuing to silently repeat those well wishes to yourself. And as you do, try to put a little bit of feeling behind it. Sometimes we feel unworthy of these phrases. I don't feel happy, I don't feel loved. Well, what you can do is just put a smile on your face as you recite these statements. The Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh often recommended that when we go to our meditation practice, whatever it is, put a smile on your face because it helps us to feel more loving kindness and more love towards ourselves in the practice that we are undertaking. We shouldn't be going into our practice as looking as it's some grim duty or some forced activity. But we should be practicing our spiritual practices and this loving kindness practice with a sense of playfulness, curiosity, exploration. And so just hold your awareness on yourself and continue to say, I am loved. I am happy. I am healthy. I am peaceful. Now, don't think you don't deserve this. If you don't love yourself, who will? Other people can often tell and notice when someone doesn't love themselves or care about themselves. And sometimes people take advantage of that. They think, well, if this person doesn't love themselves, why should I? Also know that caring for yourself is not selfish, it's needed. The Buddha said you can search this 10,000-fold universe and never find anyone more deserving of your own love and compassion than yourself. And Jesus said the greatest commandment was to love God and love our neighbors as we love ourselves. So let's cultivate a little bit more love for ourselves by taking another moment to just send this loving kindness inward, send the loving energy into ourselves, thinking, I am loved, I am happy, I am healthy, I am peaceful. And now I invite you to call to mind someone you know that you love dearly, somebody you love a lot. Now, this person can be living or deceased, that doesn't matter. But just try to call into your mind's eye, or try to picture, imagine, sense, feel, visualize in any way possible someone you love dearly. It could be a family member or a dear close friend. And now, while seeing them before you, holding them in your mind's eye, we're now going to send some loving kindness to them. And there's two ways you can do this. You can either just say, may you be loved, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be peaceful, as you hold them in your mind's eye, as you visualize them. Or if you want to make it a little bit more personal and intimate, you can actually insert his or her name into the statements and say, may he or she be loved, may he or she be happy, may he or she be healthy, may he or she be peaceful. And so now take a couple of moments to sincerely and wholeheartedly offer your loving kindness to the person you have imagined before you, this person you love dearly. And so we move from loving the kindness, sending the loving kindness inwards, to now begin to send it outwards, starting with this person that we love a lot. And don't just let it be mechanical, don't just let it be lip service, but really put a little bit of feeling behind what you're saying. Try to bring the head and the heart together, so don't just rush through them, saying these statements real fast. Another way to generate that feeling of loving kindness is to carry over that smile. And if the mind gets distracted, if it's full of thoughts, don't get upset, don't get frustrated. Just whenever you notice the mind has wandered away from the practice, just refocus on the person you love dearly. Don't worry about where you were in the statements, just start again from the beginning. May you be loved. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful. And next, I invite you now to call to mind somebody you know who might be having a hard or a difficult time right now. Now, by the difficulty, this could be mentally, emotionally, or of course, someone you know who's suffering physically with a sickness, illness, or disease. So I invite you to try to picture, sense, visualize, imagine, in any way possible, this person in front of you or before you. Try to hold them in your mind's eye. And now you're going to offer your loving kindness to them in the exact same way we did with the person we love dearly. So you can either just go into it by saying, may you be loved, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be peaceful. Or to personalize it, just insert their name into the statements and say, may he or she be loved. May he or she be happy. May he or she be healthy. May he or she be peaceful. And now take a couple of moments to sincerely and wholeheartedly offer your loving kindness now to the person that you have imagined before you. This person who's having some sort of difficulty or sick in some way. And as we're doing the practice, just that little reminder that if it's helpful for you to really feel a little bit more loving, to carry over the smile throughout the practice. It's hard to feel down when we have a smile on our face. And also be aware that even though I recommend to try and put feeling behind it, it's not really the feeling that we are trying to focus on the most and generate. As long as we just rest ourselves in the statements themselves, when we say, may you be loved, really try and be present to that statement, the feelings will often spontaneously arise on their own. So when you say, may you be happy, really try to feel and be with 100% present to that statement and rest in that statement, and happiness will arise. And again, whenever your mind might get busy or distracted or wander away from the statements or the person, just refocus again on the person and then start again. Don't worry about where you had left off or where you might have wandered. Just start again with, may you be loved, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be peaceful. And now for any of you that are new or the first time practicing this loving kindness practice with us, we've moved through the first half of the flow in which many people find it easy to cultivate these feelings. And now we're going to move into the second half, which for some becomes a little bit more difficult. And so now I invite you to picture, imagine, sense, feel, visualize in any way you can somebody who is a neutral person to you, someone of a neutral persuasion. Now, by neutral, we simply mean somebody you have no feelings for, either good or bad. So you don't really like them or love them, but you really don't have any animosity or ill will or hatred towards them either. So there's no feelings either way. Someone you really have no story about, you know nothing about them. Examples I often give is maybe a neighbor in your community or on your block that you might pass maybe when you go out or go to work or something like that, but you know their face, but you really don't know them. Or maybe you visit or frequent a store and you see the same person behind the register or the same cashier or the manager, but again, you know their face, but you really know nothing about them. So now I invite you to call to mind that neutral person. And now do your best to try to offer your loving kindness to them. You probably don't know this person's name, so it's best to just use the may you be. So you would say, may you be loved, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be peaceful. And now take a couple of moments to try to offer your loving kindness to this person. And as you do, really try to explore yourself and how this is feeling for you now. The loving kindness flow is very systematic for a reason. It moves from us to people we love, to people who are sick or suffering, because that really gives us a barometer for how our love should feel, the quality it should have. With someone we love dearly, it's often very easy to generate feelings of love and compassion towards that person. With the person who's sick or suffering, it's again often sometimes very easy to cultivate the feeling of loving kindness and compassion for them. We know they're sick, we know they're not well, we want them to get well. And even if they said something unkind to us, when they're sick, we sort of just let it roll off our back. We don't take it so personally because we know they're not in the right frame of mind and they're hurting and they're in pain or suffering in some way. So our loving kindness is easier to generate for them. But now with this neutral person, it can go one of two ways. Either, again, you might find it very easy to cultivate this loving kindness towards them because there is no story attached. We really don't know anything about them, so there's nothing to hinder our loving kindness. And so it flows very easily for this person. But on the other side, some of us may notice that it's a little bit more difficult. Because there is no story, maybe our mind wanders a little bit more. That's natural. We have no real sort of attachments towards this person or good feelings. So it might be a little bit more difficult to sort of keep focused and concentrate upon them. And the other thing is because there's no story, our intensity or the quality of our loving kindness might not be as strong. And what this is it's a barometer. It's a way for us to see where our loving kindness and our true altruistic sort of love needs some work. So just continue on, even if it seems mechanical right now, that's okay. And just try to generate that feeling. Again, with the neutral person, it might be helpful to keep the smile on your face, to make the intensity and quality of your loving kindness a little bit stronger. And just continue on. May you be loved. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful. And the way we're offering this loving kindness is with a sense of generosity. I always share that, we're not demanding they be happy. We're not telling them you must be happy or you must be loved. We're offering with a sense of a generosity and a generous spirit. The same way we would say to someone, may you have a happy birthday. We're offering that to them because we really want them to have that and with a generosity behind it. And it's the same thing with the way you say, may you be loved. You would offer that with a sense of generosity. And now we're moving into what for many is the most difficult part of loving kindness. And so I'm going to ask you now to try to sense, picture, feel, visualize in any way you can someone from the present or your past that you might have had a hard or a difficult time getting along with. someone who might have hurt you, used you, even wronged you in some type of way. Now, if you're new to loving kindness, again, if you're new to the practice or just joining us for the first time, it's often recommended that you don't choose the most difficult person or the most hated person in your life or the world. Choose someone who's a little bit more mildly troublesome, because we want to sort of observe our reactions again, and we don't want to be too overwhelmed. We don't want to be pulled away into sort of an anger or an animosity just by thinking of them. So please try to picture someone from the present or your past with whom you might just had a little bit of conflict, someone who knows how to irritate you or annoy you. And now try to offer your loving kindness to them. And again, you could do it by saying, may you be loved, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be peaceful. Or if you know the person's name, you can insert it into the phrases and say, may he or she be loved. May he or she be happy. May he or she be healthy. May he or she be peaceful. And now, as we're working with this person of difficulty, we may notice a couple of things. As we're saying the statements, our intensity is probably or maybe not there. It might be a little bit harder to generate a feeling towards them. You know, they've hurt us or harmed us or used us. And so the default state of mind is when we're hurt, we respond in an unkind way and want to sort of hurt someone else. Someone says something unkind to me, I say something unkind to them. And we're trying to break out of that pattern. It's not always easy. We'll be able to do it at times, and maybe other times, you know, the person just knows the right place to poke or push. But we're trying to overcome that. The other thing we may notice is that as we're practicing our loving kindness and we're trying to send out these phrases towards this person who's harmed us or hurt us or person of difficulty, there might be a little voice in the back of our mind saying, I don't really wish this for them. That's natural and that's okay too. But there will come a point when we recognize that when someone acts badly, they're often coming from a place of pain themselves, a place of hurt. And so when we go into this practice, we're not really doing it really for the other person, though. We're also really doing it for ourselves, because if we just think of this person, call them into our mind's eye, and we feel angry or upset just by the thought of them, who's really doing that to us? It's not really them. They're not here. They're not with us right now. It's the thoughts that we're carrying. It's the baggage that we're carrying around them and the situation and all of the memories of the unkindness and wrongful actions that were taken. But through this practice, it's time for us to let that baggage go, because the method helps us to cultivate a little bit of forgiveness. And forgiveness is really for ourselves. It means we won't carry this anymore. It doesn't mean we paper over what has happened to us or we think that it's okay in some way. You know, it's just that we won't carry it around with us. It's time for us to let that go. And if you find you are angry or upset, that's okay and that's natural too, but just recognize that, of course, change is possible. As you become more comfortable in the practice, it gets easier. The heart opens. And this loving kindness practice, especially this part, can become very liberating. And so just try your best to offer your loving kindness to this difficult person. May you be loved. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful. And now, last but definitely not least, we're going to send our loving kindness out now to all beings, to all life, everywhere in this universe. And so once again, just silently repeat or softly whisper, if you're alone, these statements after me. May all beings be loved. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. And may all beings be peaceful. May all beings be loved. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. And may all beings be peaceful. And now please take these final moments to sincerely and wholeheartedly offer your loving kindness now to all beings, to all life, everywhere in this universe. And as you're sitting there and radiating out these phrases towards all beings, I'll just remind you once again to hopefully have carried that smile now to this part of the practice throughout the entire practice. I just recommend that as a tool. So if you find it helpful, if you find that when you do smile, it's easier to cultivate that feeling of loving kindness, then please do. But, at times you might not feel that, and you might not want to smile, and maybe it's distracting for you. So if so, then don't use it. I just offer it as an aid that might be beneficial. Another tool I offer at this point in the practice is one in which, when you're sending out these loving kindness phrases to all beings everywhere, what you could think about is yourself sending out, radiating out this energy in sort of different colored waves. So when you say, may all beings be loved, maybe you send out a red, like a red heart energy, moving from yourself in all directions. And then when you say, may all beings be happy, whatever color happiness is to you, send out that colored wave in all directions. May all beings be healthy, send out a healing colored wave in all directions. And may all beings be peaceful, send out a, whatever color peace is to you, a peaceful energy in all directions. But again, if you find that distracting, then you don't need to do it. It's just a tool that might be helpful to some of you. So you can give it a try, see how that feels if you wish. Otherwise, you could just recite the statements alone. May all beings be loved. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. And may all beings be peaceful. And when your mind wanders, again, don't get upset, don't get frustrated. Just gently and lovingly come back. Recenter yourself in the space. Think about all beings, all life, and then just start again from the beginning. Don't worry about where you were in the practice. Just start again. May all beings be loved. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be peaceful. Our meditation has come to its end. You may need to bring some gentle movement back to your body. You may want to take a couple of deep breaths just to ground yourself in the space that you're in. Whenever you feel ready, slowly begin to open your eyes. Once again, as always, I thank each and every one of you for joining us. I appreciate you all being here, being part of this group, being part of our community, and I thank you all for again, all the friends that you invite, all the people that you tell about this loving kindness medics practice, because we're now over 600 participants. So unfortunately, all 600 of us aren't meditating together at the same time, but we got people from all over. It's not just the United States. We have people from Canada and the UK and Mexico and a couple other countries as well. So I thank you all for, again, inviting any friends or family, and please keep doing that. Let's grow this community as much as we can. Again, it's not my community, it's our community. I'm just leading these meditations for us to get together, to meditate together. I love when we do. I think there's a great energy that is generated by our group. And again, I appreciate you all being here. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Norm. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Mandy, Suzette, Wes, and everybody else who showed up this morning. I truly appreciate all of you. I hope you've had a blessed and beautiful weekend, and I hope you have a beautiful Memorial Day and a happy Memorial Day today. And just a reminder that starting in June, many of the studios that I do offer classes and workshops and meditations at are beginning to reopen. So there will be some in-person classes that are beginning the first week of June. So I hope to see you there. I've missed all of you, but I am so happy that we do get to connect through the technology that we have in these sort of online and virtual classes and meditations. So once again, thank you all. And I hope that each and every one of your days is filled with an abundance of love, happiness, and peace. See you Friday.